There we go.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to the Lottura Post podcast. I'm Bailey, and this is our founder, Kristine. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us just a little snippet about yourself?
Hello, I'm Kristine. I am the founder of the Lottura Post. I conceived this idea
We'll
about a
get
year
there.
ago. Oh,
We'll get there.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Cut. We'll cut it.
Cut.
Just tell me,
Okay.
tell
What do you want to
me
know?
who you are, where you're from, your family.
Okay.
Generally, I wouldn't name names.
Yeah,
I would just say I have kids,
I agree. Yeah.
but yeah.
Hi. Okay. Hi, I'm Kristine, the founder. I grew up in Nebraska and lived there through high school. And then I moved and lived in the Black Hills of South Dakota for some time with my husband. That's where we got married. And then we lived in Kansas City for a few years. And now we're in Tennessee. And we have three kiddos. Wait, well, not to name names.
It's okay.
We have three kids. I have almost 5-year old, a 3-year old, and a 1-year old. And they're wonderful.
They're the cutest. Um, And I think we'll just talk back and forth and we'll cut whatever we need to. But that is up to you if you want to name them. My thought behind it is like, say this blows up.
Mm-hmm. I
I
know
don't know.
that's where I'm at. I like even like my personal account, I went and archived like
Yeah.
so much of it recently because I was like because I can see the stats on my account. There's like 20K people looking at my account. And I'm like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I just, for
Yeah.
everyone's safety.
Yeah. No, I feel the same. So it's I'm fine by me.
Um, okay. If you guys are listening, if you just found us and you don't know kind of who we are or what we're doing, you can pause here and you can quickly go to www.latura.com just to get a little extra info before you jump into this. Because this is definitely an extension of what we're doing over there at the Lottura Post. So, Kristine, can you just tell everyone why are we doing a podcast?
Oh man, well for one was never like I'm gonna have a podcast. This is a little bit on the fly, you could say, but with great intention, even though it's on the fly. We obviously started the Lottura Post. We're only what 4 issues in. December is our fourth issue, and it has been an overwhelming response of how many people are really resonating with what we're doing, just in bringing inspiration and beauty in a physical format to help combat the noise and chaos of the internet and social media. And with this overwhelming response, we have had so many questions and so many people who have directly said, like, hey, I want to know more. I want, like, people are just so interested. There's just not a lot of physical media out there. And it's almost a quote new thing because it kind of went so out and now it's coming back in. And um, yeah, I think just a lot of people want to know more. And so we don't want to talk about ourselves in our newspaper. And so we were like, okay, what's the best way to help people feel invested in what we're doing and feel a part of what we're doing and just learning more about the nitty gritty about us? And the easiest answer for us was to do a podcast.
And we had talked about there's just so, I mean, you touched on it. There's so many things that we want to say that maybe the paper isn't the best place for it, but we still wanted to not be just putting it in a social media post. That didn't feel quite true to what we're doing. So here we
Right.
are.
Here
Here
we
we
are.
are. And we really do hope that it can just be like a good supplement to what we're doing to learn more about kind of our mission too. Get off social media, read something physical, make something beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly it. And this is going to be casual. There is, as of now, we have no set schedule, we have no set expectations. It's, hey, we've been getting a lot of questions about this topic. So let's just record what would be a conversation between friends and just share it. So that's, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But that's where we're starting.
Yep. And there's a lot of people that have no idea where this all started because it did not start from a newspaper.
It did
It
not start from a newspaper.
didn't start
No.
anywhere near that. And so take me back to when this concept of Lottura first started and what the initial thing was.
Yeah. So we probably have a few OGs following us. So if that's you, say hey. But Lottura was the concept, the name was started actually about a year ago, probably last November, December. And it started out with the idea of essentially an online clothing boutique, is what it was, just like in plain terms. The intention behind it was I personally have always enjoyed clothing. And also, I really care about health and what I purchase and bring into my home. And I really prioritize natural fibers. And I saw that a lot of people were also kind of moving towards that, but there's not a ton of explicitly natural fiber places to purchase from. Or if there are, they're pretty niche. And so I wanted to provide a place where I was kind of bringing together the best of the best in a curated format so someone could come in and purchase for their wardrobe without being overwhelmed by like 100 options. So that was what it started as. Our first launch for that was in February, and we did 3 total launches. It was like February, May, and or February, March, and May, is I think were our only 3 launches of clothing before our direction obviously changed.
And so just to kind of insert myself into this story,
Yeah.
but your sister actually introduced us
Yes.
and
She said, I want to introduce you to Bailey, but you guys might be too similar.
we
she
are in fact very similar.
we are in fact very similar, but it was not too similar.
Yeah. 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 And so we talked, I think we got together at your sister's house, what, like last November,
Yeah.
last December.
Yeah.
Um, and because you were looking for someone to just kind of help you out with
Mm-hmm.
some stuff because it's a lot of work, a lot
Yep.
of just figuring things out, a lot of photographing. And so we needed 2 people for that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we started that, like you started it, I came in and I helped you. And so I've been with you since the beginning,
Yeah.
really, of
Yes.
Latera. And
Yeah, you've heard every single thought I've pretty much ever had.
yeah, we've had a lot of conversations and it's
Yes,
always been we have so much fun. It's
we
only been a
do.
year and I feel like I've known you 10 years, but
Yes.
um yeah, we face some challenges though with Latera, the clothing
Yes.
side. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. It's like how nitty gritty do you want to get?
Up
um,
to you.
so I loved the concept. Clearly, that's why I started it and I believed in it, and I still think it was a great idea. I We found pretty quickly that I think just due to the nature of the economy, the time of year we launched, just a number of factors, it we didn't gain enough traction for it to be sustainable. I think we brought in a lot of people who really believed in what we were doing and who were very, very supportive, and it was very encouraging and kind, but it just wasn't enough to sustain. And I think also as we kept going, I obviously started with the intention of curating beautiful clothing in a non overwhelming way. And as I was doing it, I was like, I feel like I'm just like barely the tip of the iceberg. Like, I feel like my ideas and my capabilities go so much deeper than what I'm doing. And I think as I felt that and that as that feeling grew, I felt more and more of a disconnect. And so I felt like I didn't have my whole heart in it. And I'm sure that that was subconsciously communicated.
Yeah, and we can touch a little bit on kind of the disconnect between um, the fashion industry as we know it and what we really wanted to bring to people.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to go down this path of natural fibers, it is just more expensive. You're going to spend more money buying these pieces, and we knew that. Um, and what we saw was people really, really wanting to support us, and they did. The support was overwhelming, but you can't. No one can go buy a whole new closet,
Yeah.
and no one can go. It was just with, like you said, with the economy the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw the support, and we saw people wanting to learn more about what we were doing. And so it naturally kind of evolved into like, what is a way that we can hold the same mission, but completely different way?
Yes, exactly. Because we never had to explain our mission to people. Like people knew exactly the why behind the why behind what we were doing, especially as we would start talking with some of these ladies. And so it was like we just saw the tip of the iceberg of what was going on, not just what our potential was, but also what was going on in people's minds and hearts. And it was, the desire for something more and something deeper and something more intentional. But then we were like, okay, people can't go and spend hundreds of dollars on clothes, which is fine. And nor do I necessarily want people to be doing that. So then I need to adjust my business model to actually make an impact in impactful ways and attainable ways. And I'm sure we'll get into it yet, but once the idea of a newspaper came about, it was like, wow, that's a way more affordable that's a much more affordable way for people to get involved in the heart of what we're doing.
Yep. And do you want to walk through our in between thought of the magazine or not really?
Yeah, I mean, we are the our first idea was a magazine. Simple as that. I mean, I think that's the most when someone thinks about print, that's usually the first thought in people's minds, just because that is what's more prevalent. Like of print that's in circulation nowadays, it's pretty much magazines. So as we started pursuing that idea, we were like, whoa, the margins, the cost is high. Like, I don't want to be charging over $100 for a subscription for what, a quarterly magazine. I think a lot of people do that and it's wonderful, but that didn't quite fit what our intentions were.
Yeah, and just so people understand, like a magazine, we would have had to put together 90 pages or more of content every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're finding people, you're paying people, your print is cost is really high because it's in color. You want really high quality photos, you want good paper. And of course, we ourselves wanted the highest quality
Yeah.
everything. We're not ones to cut corners.
No,
So
no. I think our
um
husbands could attest to
yes.
that.
So it just started to like feel like this insurmountable mountain that it wasn't going to make sense to charge that much.
Mm-mm.
We didn't want to do that. We wanted it to be accessible. We wanted it to be easy to get your hands on. And so the newspaper.
Yeah.
And you can talk about that.
Yeah. So, the long story of how the newspaper came. So, in my very small town where I grew up, there is a printing press that's been running for 80 something years, I believe. Sorry if I'm wrong. Um, but someone recently, someone who grew up in our town recently came in and purchased it and is kind of revitalizing it. And I'm connected to him through my family. And he gave us a tour of it last Thanksgiving. And as we were walking through and looking at all the machines and just the different paper products that he does, I my wheels were turning. I was like, I mean, because at this point a newspaper didn't exist, the thought of that. And I was like, I have to do something with this. Like, this is too amazing to just, like, the world needs to know that, like, print is amazing and there's ways to do it. And so that's how I felt then. Then kind of forgot about it, moved on. The Lottura clothing kind of came as we were going through it. And then there was one night, as I was wrestling through, okay, this clothing thing isn't quite going how I pictured. How do I want to adjust? It was like, I mean, at this point, I had a baby. So I was up through the night nursing. And there was one point where I woke up in the night and I was feeding her and I went, I need to make a newspaper. And then I like went back to sleep. It was just the most random, bizarre. Like I remember it so clearly. And I think like literally the next day I was messaging Bailey, like, we need to figure out a way to make a newspaper.
I think you called me and we had talked
Yeah.
about it because we had already at that point thrown around the magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and we both were like sitting with it, but like not acting on it. We were just kind of like,
Yeah.
it's not, but we weren't making any moves one way or the other.
Yep.
So yeah, then you called me and I was like, love it. Let's do
Let's
it.
do it. There were a few bumps in the road then. I mean, because this was in probably what, March, April.
Yeah.
It was in March.
Marchish. Yeah.
Then my family got very suddenly uprooted and we moved from my hometown in Nebraska to Tennessee. And it was, when I say it was very sudden, we went from moving, not being on our radar, to living here in a 2 week span. So it was crazy. So we were like, okay, obviously this newspaper is going to be put on hold for a second. At that point, I had already in my head some people I wanted to be involved to bring onto the team, just some different, very, very dear friends of mine I've made from the different places I've lived. And I had talked with each of them and they were already on board. So everyone was just kind of like, okay, we have this idea. Let's just sit and wait. So we move. Our first couple months here were complete and utter chaos to the extreme. And I was like, our goal had been a September issue to be our first one. And I went, I don't know if we can do it, guys. I think it was July.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, oh, no, we got this. And that was the only reason it happened, is because it was a team and it was not just me. And we did it. And we had our first issue out in September. And obviously, it's not perfect. It was our very first issue, but so, so proud of it for being our very first issue. None of us have a journalism background, anything kind of like that. None of us. So we've just been paving the way, figuring out
Yeah.
as we go.
And really everyone, there were five of us to begin with. Most of us were going through pretty big life
Yeah.
transitions. There were
Yes.
babies being born, moves being made, just like big things. And
Yes.
so um, I think like bringing that together was a testament of like how much we all believed in it, because
Yeah.
it would have been easy to be like, we'll do it in August, or we'll do it. I'm going the wrong way. We'll do it in October, or we'll do it in September. Oh my goodness, October or November. And so it would have been easy to push it. And yeah, and we did it.
We did it. And the more we do it, we're like, oh, yeah, this just like, so I had someone ask me the other day, they were looking through it and they went, how do you have this much content every month? And I'm like, oh, I have enough ideas in my head to probably fill 50 newspapers. And I'm not exaggerating.
Yep.
I think we just love and believe in this so much that it's literally overflowing.
Yeah. And so let's go back to like one, we have a slogan, May Beauty Arise.
Mhm.
You can talk a little bit about that, and also kind of, again, just to reiterate, like, what are we doing? Why is this important? Especially this concept of beauty. We have talked about this a lot, you and me and our team, and like just why it's so important. So talk about that.
Yeah, beauty, may beauty arise. From the initial conception of the newspaper, it was nowhere, the original conception was nowhere near where it's at now. It was just simply, let's just bring together a bunch of beautiful things that people will enjoy consuming. And as we dug deeper into that, we just more and more actually like experiencing the things come together. I was like, this is overwhelming. It affects you in the soul. It brings me to tears. Frankly, I cry most days because of how overwhelming and how just like truly beautiful what is coming. It's just so beautiful, like what's coming together and to see it all collectively. And I think experiencing that, and I think experiencing that made me realize how intensely beauty can affect you. And that when you are pursuing beautiful things, truth and goodness follow. And that is what has life changing, world changing effect. And so, simply, yes, we are simply putting together a paper of beautiful things, but we believe so deeply that that will ultimately point the readers to truth and goodness, and that it has the ability to change their lives, literally. Whether it's simply just reading an article and it making you reflect and then go and speak to your kid differently the next hour, or go into a friendship and do something a little differently. Or it could be like, hey, I don't need social media anymore. I don't need to be weighed down by this, whether it's for a month or whether it's for good. And I'm going to be on my phone less. And that also has like life changing, like, things, And like, that's what the purpose of this paper is to point people away from, I mean, I think more and more, especially seeing the response, is there is just this large collection of people who have, grown up with social media, or maybe they didn't even grow up with it. Maybe that didn't come about. I mean, social media didn't really come about till I was like in high school. But it's still, I mean, we've been in it for what, a decade. And that's a long time. And I think people are like, I am exhausted. People, we know way too much. We have way too much information in our heads. We compare, we feel like we're being told what to think, or that what we're doing isn't good enough, or it's too much, or it's, like, you just never feel like you're doing the right thing when you're on social media. And it's overwhelming. And to provide a space that's like, hey, it's not a bad thing to want to like go look at beautiful things. That's not what's bad. There's just a way to do it without all the other baggage.
Yeah. And so if you haven't checked out a paper yet, what you can expect to find is articles written. We have one lead writer who every month does a feature that is absolutely amazing, like so good. We do recipes, poems, games, photos, short stories, like anything that really just speaks to the heart. Um, and I had a question and I lost my train of thought. Oh, but we really wanted to present it in a non-distracting format. And that was another aspect of why a paper. It's in black and white
Mm.
and it's 8 pages. So do you want to talk about kind of our thoughts around the boundaries that we really wanted to give people in their consumption?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the big pros for us for not doing a magazine and doing a newspaper was we could do it more regularly, easily. We could do it monthly, and it wasn't as large scale as a magazine. And it was much easier to print and put together every single month, so that if someone did really want to step away from social media, it would be hard to step away from social media and only get content quarterly. Monthly just seemed like a more reasonable flow of content for us. And yeah, the black and white is just non-stimulating. It's calming. It does make it a little easier to put the papers together, which is also why we can get them out monthly. And then, yeah, so like how a printing press works is you print on like a spread. So you have to work in pages of four. So I know it's hard to explain. If you've held a
Yeah.
newspaper in hand, you would know. So we could do 4 pages, 8 pages, 12 pages. So we decided to do eight. And we have felt like we have hit the balance of there's enough content there to get you through a month to read through a couple times. It's not so much that you feel like you're not getting to read things. Though our December issue, we really just like went for it and did a double size. So that was crazy of us.
And another aspect of the black and white is so every month we do a featured artist, and they have been so lovely and provided amazing artwork. And it's really fun, actually, I think, to see it in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have personally gone and then sought out each one to see their work in its fullness. And then I have bought stuff from them.
Yeah.
So that's another thing, like, then go find them, go support them,
Mm-hmm.
and um, yeah, really soak in like how amazing they are because it is really fun to hold it in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
It's an accessible way to get art into your home. I've seen people cut it out and like do fun
Yes.
things with it. And so it's a really, I just, I love it. I think it
Mm-hmm.
shows up great in black and white. The
Yeah.
photos look amazing. But it's non-stimulating. Like it's so calming and
Mm-hmm.
it's fun to look at.
Yeah, and like fun fact, and I probably won't use these terms correctly, so I need to Ian will correct me. But the he we print like on a printing press. This is not digital, and he has to like dial in the blacks. So like he dials in the ink settings as to how the pictures will present, which is just so cool and takes time and is just part of his craft.
And it's takes a lot of expertise. And that was another thing with the paper. We wanted to highlight people who are honing their craft. And the very guy who prints it is, I mean, no one, not anyone could walk in there and do what he does.
No way. No way.
Yeah. Um, oh my goodness, my questions are kind of escaping me.
Oh,
Lots of cropping. Um, because I had something on that. Oh, another thing that, okay, I'm going to start that over because I was like, oh, another thing that you can expect to find in the paper is a community section. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we if you are a reader already and have held a paper in your hand, there are few better feelings in my opinion. It feels amazing. It's like everyone's inner grandma comes out. It's amazing. And to see your work on paper, it's just unmatched. I mean, it's hard to put into words. And we wanted to provide a space where our readers, because so many of our readers are creators of their own category, and we wanted to provide a place where they could come in and publish their own work to be seen, by their own eyes on paper and also by their fellow readers. So we have a community page, and any of our readers can submit their work. So we've had photographs, poems, short stories, just like general reflections, book recommendations. I mean, like recipes. It really could be anything. Um, and it's really, really fun to see. Yeah, what people want to have published and share. It's very, very sweet.
We keep coming back to the word, it's an honor. It's an honor to publish these things. We cry at them regularly when we get them in. So talk about like what makes it so special. Like these people are sharing very personal, lovely things. Talk about what an honor it is to hold that and publish that.
Yeah, I mean, some of the works that people have been sharing are deeply personal and intimate and are, grieving over loss, celebrating life. Just there's just so much heart in these pieces. And to receive one of these emails and to know that somebody consciously went, I feel safe to submit this here, is just humbling. And it is not something I take lightly. And usually I will read over these works multiple times. And I just really want to feel the depth of what has been submitted and what has been given into my hands. Um, I definitely don't want to take that lightly. And I hope then that because I'm handling it with care, that that's then how it will be put out into the world and that our readers, I just want it to be a place where our readers can come and respect and care for their fellow readers.
Yeah. And I think it has taken that shape, one on its own. Like that was a very natural thing that happened. And two, I think these are things that people really didn't want to put on social media. It was like too tender, too beautiful to just subject to social media.
Yeah, I mean, I think almost anyone who goes into social media kind of gets in the swipe zone, where you go on it for kind of the quick hit, And so when intimate things are put out there, a lot of the time they are kind of ignored or misunderstood, or it's random people coming in who have no context and make assumptions, and then it doesn't go well. And it's not the prime place to share intimate things. Not that it's not possible, it's just not the prime place. And I think a lot of people then go, so where do I go? Where do I put this? Because I do think there is something very healing about putting words of the heart out into the world. And yeah, hopefully we can be a place for that is just like our readers come in, and because it's black and white, because it's not that many pages, because they can't just swipe away, they are actually reading and digesting what is in these papers and coming back to it more than once. It's very, very different experience.
Yeah. And we get people telling us all the time, like, I love this or I love this. Like it's so interesting to see what people connect to. And a lot of the times it's a guest writer or someone who's submitted to the community pages. Like it's been really cool to see the shape that it's taken with the community aspect because you can't fake that. There is no way for us to pull that out of
No.
nothing. There's just no way.
Yeah.
So that's been really, really cool to see. And then another thing that we were talking about right before this, um, the way that the issues develop. So we have a team that we talk about what's going to go in them, we curate. We usually have some gaps that need to be filled. And so we're always looking for writers, ideas, whatever it may be. Um, and maybe you could just talk about like how cool it is to see collectively how we're all kind of always on the same page somehow, not just us as a team, but like our readers and the things that they send in. It's like we've been able to capture a collective feeling and a collective sense of what's going on in our lives at any given time and put that into the paper. So talk about that and how issues take shape seasonally, but also just things coming in that makes sense.
Yeah, we naturally, just as individuals, really like to follow the seasons, just in our habits and how we eat and things like that. And so that is like step one for how we kind of look at bringing an issue together. We also just really believe that months just carry general feelings. Like you have one feeling in July, you have one in December. And so those issues need to reflect that because we want people to come in and feel heard and feel understood and feel like, like a safe haven of what's going on in their head. And so the easiest way to do that is to kind of like, okay, what's the general feeling of the month? And so, like January, for example, which is coming up, we're like, okay, everyone's exhausted from the holidays. Nobody wants to buy anything. No one wants to do anything. Everyone's cold. Like everyone just like wants to kind of relax and reset and reflect on the year prior and reflect and think about, what's coming with the upcoming year. And so how can we reflect that in the paper? And so there's ways in which we did that. And a lot of it, yeah, it does come naturally. Like we have our like, okay, I definitely want this, this, and this. Then there's some gaps. And, like, for example, our January issue, we knew we wanted to hit on the theme of community. I went and chatted with my mother-in-law about doing our wisdom from our matriarchs column for the month of January. And I asked her if there were any topics that were on her heart that she wanted to share. And she was like, I would like to do friendship. And I was like, perfect, community, friendship, like that's it. And then the whole rest of our issue just like blossomed from that. So yeah, pieces just naturally kind of puzzle together, and I have no idea how it happens.
It's magic.
Magic.
And we love the matriarch column. Talk
Yes.
about that and why we wanted to do that.
Yeah, so I think part of the digital age, social media, is our generation is most of the time relying on peers for advice and encouragement because that's largely what's on social media. And I think when you look at really all of time, the matriarch figure has been a highly respected figure in cultures. Her word is like top tier. She's walked through life, she's experienced things. I mean, like, some of these women have experienced 3 times my life. Like, that's so much more life. Why wouldn't we want to listen to them? And I think our age has just, our current cultural age of digital has just like really lessened the value of them. And so not only are we missing out as young women on really, really rich knowledge, but also the women who are stepping into matriarch, they are also missing out because they don't have women who are willing to listen. And I mean, obviously, I don't know what it's like to be a matriarch, but I would think that that would also kind of leave a feeling of hollowness. And so I think women collectively just don't feel connected. And we, yeah, I mean, like, just think about like when's the last time you walked into a group of 50, 60, 70-year-old ladies and felt really comfortable. I just don't think it's as, I think we should feel more comfortable than we sometimes do. And I think they feel the same. And so how can we provide a space to like really bring us together and say that we all, a relationship between us has great benefit. And so bringing in the wisdom from our matriarchs column is explicitly going out and searching for the matriarchal figures who can share their wisdom and their life experiences. And I think that's the great thing about listening to someone's life experiences is that maybe you wouldn't handle things the exact way they did, or maybe your reflections wouldn't be the exact same way. But that's not the point of listening to someone's life experience. The point of it is to hear the underlying themes of the resilience, of the grace, of the kindness, of the respect. And maybe you can pull something direct from it, but we don't always have to because everyone's lives are so different. And we just really, really hope that we can highlight those things in this column.
Yeah. And it's usually on our front page. So if you
Yes.
haven't read them, go back, get your issues, and read them. They
Yes.
are beautiful. We're so thankful that women have taken the time to do it. Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to, but they do because they want to share. And we appreciate that a ton. And then also we love to have a bunch of different voices. So our team has grown basically tripled
Yes.
since we started. Um, talk a little bit about that, how like our first edition was like, hey, I noticed that you have a ton of typos. Can I help you?
Yes. Reading back our first issue, I'm like, cringe. Like, we did such minimal proofreading, because like we said a little bit ago, it was, we were pushing ourselves. Um, we very quickly put together a proofreading team following that issue. Highly qualified ladies, like ladies who that is their experience through and through. They have degrees, they have like they know what they're doing, and they make me very self-conscious of my errors. I'm like going to put together a text to them and I'm like, oh, is that the right grammar? Anyways,
That's funny.
so we have a team of four who do the proofreading. We so I mean to start, we had six ladies and every single one of them were dear friends of mine who like long years lasting relationships. So that was just a very, very special place to start. It's been a very fun way for me to stay in touch with dear friends of mine and to talk to them, if not weekly, daily. Um, but then, so yeah, our proofreading team came on, and then we had two gals come on shortly after who one of them directly reached out to us. The other was kind of like we were mutually kind of moving in that direction, I think. And they were like, here's what I could offer. And we were like, oh, we actually need that. That's perfect. They came in. And then after that, there would be weeks where I'd tell Bailey or my husband, I really, I've been doing this and I don't have time to do this. I need someone else to do this. And within a week, I would receive a message from somebody saying, hey, I want to join your team and I want to do this. That happened 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row.
Yeah,
I say,
crazy.
yeah. So that has been very crazy. And they are all amazing, wonderful, and have fit into our team seamlessly. And I love I mean, I say little team, it's really not that little. There's 14
Yeah.
of us. So, yeah,
Yeah. And they helped our second issue from our first issue to our second issue
night and day.
night and day. And that is in large part to the proofing team, I would say.
Yes,
And also just your comfortability with creating it and like having more voices and more ideas and more. I think every single person that we brought in has made every issue better.
for
Like
sure. This
it just
paper,
has.
I every single day, I'm like to every single member of our team, I'm like, please know how much I love you because I could not do this without you. Like, this is such a team effort, and it would be nothing like this without this many hands. And I think that is why people love it so much, is because there's so much depth and there are so many layers of just different perspectives and hands. And like you go listen to our playlist on Spotify and it is a wild ride. There are many genres, and that's due to the many people of our team. And it's just so fun. So, and then, yeah, on top of that, we have guest contributors. And so, I mean, like, I can honestly say, I think per issue, collectively, there's probably a couple 100 hours worth of work
Yeah. Oh, easily.
easily.
Easily. And like, yeah, so many people touch it. And I feel like we're just like a microcosm of our larger readership. And so it seems like the feedback that we have gotten is everyone has connected to, if not the whole thing, like some individual part. Whatever
Yes.
your background, whatever your religion, whatever your whatever, we have just had amazing, amazing feedback. And I don't think that same thing would be true if our team was
Small.
small.
For
Yeah.
sure. That's without a doubt in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's if you I wish we started doing archival issues. Our first one that we archived was November. So that means you can go back and you can order November's after the month of November because right now we only release, how do I want to say this? In the month of December, you have to buy January's. And if you sign up for a subscription in December, your first issue is going to be January. And so our September and October issue couldn't we didn't archive, we didn't think ahead. We
Hmm.
should have, but we can reprint. And so if
Yes.
we get enough people like excitement to reprint it, we will, because I think it'll be really fun to hold that first like year's worth of
Hmm.
papers in our hands and
Oh, I
see.
have some ideas for a year anniversary. We'll
I
come
think it'll be
back to
so
that.
fun. Yeah, it'll be so fun. But yeah, I think people should really, hopefully, they really take a look at whatever first issue they got and see just how things have grown,
Hmm.
because you can see it. Like it's a visual and the depth, like it just
Hmm.
gets deeper and deeper. And so, can you talk about some like maybe goals, or maybe not goals, but like some visions for 2026, kind of where the Lottura Post is going to go in that year? We don't probably know fully, but whatever you have on your mind.
Yeah, I mean, if it keeps up the trajectory that we're currently on, I will be overwhelmed. I will say that because I am already overwhelmed. And yeah, I just could have never guessed that this is where we would be 4 months in. Um, but yeah, that's a good question. What's some vision? I really, I mean, like our team is a baby. I mean, some of these gals have only been here for a couple weeks, for a month, for 2 months. And so just really bringing team building together and us feeling like a unit and functioning well. And I think I just want to get as many papers in people's hands as possible, just because I think it has such an ability to not just brighten someone's day, but like cause them to reflect deeply and actually change something about their life. And I just, from the responses we've already seen, people have been so profoundly affected. And it just makes me want to get more newspapers out there just for the sake of getting newspapers out there.
Yeah. And what people say is like it slows them down.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. We
Yeah.
love that. Do you want to talk about also that slowing down and like kind of what and how we envision readers actually digesting it over the month that they have it?
Yeah. So our papers, like we said earlier, are 8 pages. We could do more, but we've chosen this amount because, I mean, when's the last time you personally went and reread a book or re-looked at a post you saved on Instagram? We are not very good at looking at things more than once. Social media has kind of messed with that. And we hope our paper can kind of break that cycle and be a space that every morning for breakfast, you grab your newspaper. And if you've read it 3 times, you read it again. And our hope is that the pieces we choose to include have enough depth that you can pull something new from it every time, or that it causes enough deep thought that like you couldn't fully let soak in what's being said unless you read it more than one time, whether that's Renee's feature article or a poem or the matriarch column. Like we want things to soak in and to actually affect your life and not just be a quick read and be like, oh, that was nice, and then move on.
I I love all of Renee's articles, but the December one, I think everyone needs to read it many times. I'm gonna go back
Mm-hmm.
to it and reread it again tomorrow because it is so fun. Um, and yeah, that slowness is a huge, huge, huge part of why we're doing what we're doing. We both today were talking and we're like, are you wanting to just like throw your phone away? Like just get rid of
Yes.
it. Because it's just kind of soul sucking. And so we hope this is very life-giving. And yeah, how long do you want to go? Because I think we could probably wrap this
Yeah,
one
I think
up.
we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
I think we should do another one. Our next one should be diving into the slowing down and why we're getting off phones in January.
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll definitely do that and we'll post it probably the end of December.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Can you tell I don't usually work at night? I'm like,
I know. I was like, is this a good idea? But also not a good idea to do with kids around.
yeah, no, I think it's been great. Um, Come on, brain, think of things.
Yeah, where did we even
Oh
end? I don't even know
boy.
where to like pick up.
The slowness. And so, do we want to just say we'll wrap it up? Talk about how you can order
Yeah.
for January. Um,
Yeah.
oh, questions. That's what I was gonna say. If people have any questions, do you want to say that or do you want me to say that?
You can say that. And yeah, it'd be really fun if we could do like actual Q&A.
Yes.
So yeah, you should say that they should send them in.
Yeah. Do you want them just sent to your email
Yeah.
or mine?
Or yeah.
One of ours.
Either.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna wrap it up. It's late. This is another thing I think is really cool about the paper. You're a mom. A lot of our team is mothers, or just have other jobs or whatever. So we are a team of working odd hours.
Very odd hours.
And so
Catch me at
it's
9 p.m. or the weekend. That's when
I'm
I'm working.
getting, yeah, like I wake up to messages. It's great. But we are going to wrap it up. It's late. And so if you guys want to find us, again, go to our website, go to our Instagram, email us at Kristine@Lottura.com or Bailey@Lottura.com. We would love to get questions for our next episode. It's really hard when you're in something to know when you're leaving things out or if you're not making something super clear because you just have the information in your brain. And so if you have questions you want us to clarify or just want to know things, let us know. We'd love to answer them. And we will see you next time.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah. How do we feel about that?